Hello, fellow chess lovers. Get ready to uncover an exceptionally powerful chess opening strategy tailored to secure victories against opponents ranging from beginners to intermediate players. This winning approach is meticulously crafted to outmaneuver and outsmart opponents at these skill levels, ensuring triumph on the chessboard. This strategy revolves around the Scotch game, where white makes an initial move with their e-pawn, followed by black mirroring the move. White then develops their knight to f3, while black does the same with their knight to c6. Finally, white advances their d-pawn, challenging black's central pawn. After black captures the pawn on d4, white responds by recapturing with their knight. The reason this opening is so potent is that it often catches inexperienced players off guard, as they tend to make mistakes and fall into traps quickly. By employing this opening, you can swiftly gain an advantage and potentially crush your opponent within a minute. After capturing black's knight on d4, you already have a dominant position in the game. Your queen is in the center, your bishops are ready to be developed, and black is on the verge of disaster. Often, your opponents will continue to make mistakes from this point onward, as finding the correct move becomes challenging for them. In most cases, they make errors like playing knight to f6, which is a standard move in other variations, but allows you to quickly respond, forcing black's knight to move to g8. This leaves black in a passive and undeveloped state. Sometimes, black may attempt to chase your queen away by playing pawn to c5, hoping to free up their knight for better squares. However, even if you move your queen away, you can still maintain your attacking position. No matter where the black knight goes, you can continue your relentless attack. For instance, if black knight goes to g4, attacking your queen, you can respond with queen to e4, once again launching an attack. Moving it back to h6 doesn't seem beneficial for black. You have the option to trade and disrupt their pawn structure. In this passive position, black's options are limited. Alternatively, black might try pawn to d5, attempting to open up their bishop and get it involved in the game. However, you can capture on d5 with your pawn, delivering a check to the black king. The only reasonable way for black to cover the check is by playing bishop to e6. At first glance, it may appear that black's position is somewhat fine, but then you play bishop to b5, which decisively wins the game. This move is challenging for black to handle. In response to bishop to b5, black is forced to resign. If the king moves, you can checkmate with bishop takes f7, followed by queen takes h7. If black plays queen to d7 to cover the check, they are simply giving up their queen. You can capture on d7, then take on e6, winning the rook. This sequence leads to a complete victory, where you win everything. Hence, even against intermediate-level opponents, you can demonstrate the effectiveness of this strategy. It is not limited to beginners, as some might assume. In the Masters database, when we analyze the moves played by expert players, we can observe that knight takes d4 is rarely chosen. The experienced players tend to opt for moves like knight f6, bishop c5 or bishop b4. They understand that knight takes d4 is a suboptimal move. However, in the amateur database, the situation is different. Knight takes d4 is the most popular move by a large margin, with over 15 million players selecting it. The average rating of these knight takes d4 players is around 1522, indicating that this move is commonly employed by beginner to intermediate level players. That's precisely why I mentioned it works extremely well against opponents of this level and below. If we consider a stronger move like bishop c5, the average rating of players who choose this move increases to around 1700. Hence, against stronger opponents, this strategy may not be as effective, but it still has its merits against beginners. For instance, if black takes on d4 with their knight and you recapture with your queen, Stockfish analysis suggests that the correct move for black is queen f6. While black's position remains challenging, it is at least tolerable. However, it is important to note that only about 10% of players opt for queen f6, while the majority 90% play other moves that are fundamentally flawed, leading to a quick defeat. Now, let's examine the main line of this variation and see how you can secure a victory. Black's primary choice in this position is to play pawn to d6. They aim to develop their knight without it being easily kicked away. However, even with this move, you maintain a more active position. You respond with knight to f6, and then you play bishop to g5, bringing your bishop out and preparing for a queenside castle. This move also activates your rook on d1, placing pressure on the board. After black castles, there are various approaches you can take, but I recommend the most aggressive one, pawn to e5. Now, you're simultaneously attacking the knight and the pawn. If black captures on e5, you recapture, which opens up a discovered attack. Black often moves their queen to e8 to defend the bishop, but now you can grab the pawn on e7. Even if black plays other moves, like bishop to b6, you can still play bishop to b5, developing your bishop and winning the game immediately. This move puts pressure on the black queen, which cannot escape without losing another piece, as it would be pinned against the bishop on e7. By employing these simple moves and launching straightforward attacks, you can completely dismantle black's position within approximately 10 moves. Now, let's address the scenario where black doesn't make the mistake of capturing on d4, and instead plays the correct move, such as bishop c5, which is the second most common move according to the database. I have another video that covers a tricky and interesting variation to employ against this move, which I will provide a link to. You can check it out later for more details. Another common move for black is knight to f6. In this case, I recommend playing a simple move without needing to know any specific theory. When black attacks your pawn, you defend it straightforwardly. There's no need for any complicated maneuvers. For example, if black plays bishop to b4 to pin your knights and attack your pawns, you simply defend by trading off the knight first with knight takes d4, and then you can play bishop to d3. This is all you need to know in this situation. Your moves remain simple and effective. You will proceed to castle, play bishop to g5 to finalize your development, and your position will be about equal. I have a chess challenge for you. It's a puzzle where it is white's turn to play and win. Take it as our puzzle of the day. If you can find the winning variation, please share your solution in the comments below. I encourage you to analyze the position and come up with a winning strategy. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated with future videos. Take a moment to check out the other videos appearing on your screen right now. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care and peace.